how can we continue to collaborate after this, which I think is such an important point, because I feel like the not to take over because I wasn't even meant to be speaking today, but looking at the Google Doc, it's incredible, it's really empowering, and I know that Lottie has plans with Rochelle and Elodie to turn it into design and more content for both our platforms. But I just wanted to throw that out to the facilitators, Rochelle and Elodie, and obviously Lottie and Decorating Dissidence. I think Jennifer's point is really important. How can we continue to collaborate after this? How can participants, should they want to, be more involved? Should we have a follow-up session where other people can speak, should they want to? Yeah, just throwing that out to you guys, and then obviously to everybody else.
I think that's a really good question. I'm just going to jump in here because as the session's gone on and I've kind of seen the great discussion and what's gone on the Google Doc, I think, yeah, the idea of a follow-up session, should anybody want to do it, is absolutely fantastic, to give more people a chance to speak and more viewpoints and so on. And I think, as well as, I think there could be scope for not just a one-off sign as well, that's coming out of this, but maybe even for, you know, a new kind of biannual or quarterly or something,
yeah,
to explore this kind of work a little bit more, and to, you know, kind of take it forward more than you can do in a 2-hour Zoom session, which is a fantastic start.
I think that would actually, yeah, I think that'd be brilliant if we could continue, because the discussion has been really interesting, and kind of sharing everyone's ideas, I think, is very valuable, and hearing what everyone has to say. So yeah, I would love to continue. And I think Lottie's given the Decorating Dissidence email address. So if anyone wants to get in contact with her about submitting to the zine, or more general points about the discussions, then that would be great.
Yeah, we're going to be accepting submissions on our online platform for the rest of the summer. We hope to keep expanding it, and maybe have a physical event when we're able to as well. So we're always up for hearing about collaborations and any ideas you might have.
And we're going to also be supporting this with Lucy Writers and publishing content. Please focus mainly on what Lottie and Decorating Dissidence put out, because they're very much the heads of this, but we're the supporting limbs. So we also would love to hear from you. And I think Molly from the Debutante would love to get involved more and maybe have a cross event or a collaborative event. And I'm just looking at the chat. So many people have said they'd like to be involved with a follow-up or submit. So, yeah.
Cool. I'm just seeing a question on there from Molly as well. What other contemporary Dada female artists resonate with you all? So just throwing that into the chat as well.
Does anyone have contacts with art students who at the moment, you know, fairly early on in their studies? I mean, I haven't managed to see any student shows for a long time, so I don't quite know what's going on with the, you know, young students. But I mean, surely that's another branch for collaboration, you know, whoever has art school contacts, or not necessarily art school, but
yeah, I think there's a few people in this. There's a few people who are specifically art students or art graduates. I can see Catherine. Sorry, Catherine, and she just did an amazing entry for Rochelle's series, Postcards in Isolation. So I think it would be worth talking, if people want to connect with Lottie or add something to the chat, it'd be worth connecting with you as well to see if there's any way that we can connect with graduates and students. I know a lot of English students would probably want to get involved, so obviously that's a different side, but I think they'd be very intrigued by the creative writing aspect of this project. contemporary Dada female artists, I like Hannah Höch. I know some of her work is problematic, but I love collage. So that's always spoken to me. It's the short answer.
I'm actually going to say, like, thinking about contemporary Dada artists, I don't think she's classed as Dada at all.
Sorry, past. I'm thinking of past. Still.
Either or. I don't think she's classed as Dada at all, but I think some of her work really speaks to what we've been talking about tonight, and that's Judy Chicago. I saw her latest, she had a retrospective or a show at the Baltic in Gateshead, and it's so rare that we ever get like a decent art show up here. It was like amazing. I was so excited, and I went to see that, and it was just so much amazing work, a lot of collage work, a lot of really strong feminism as well. So if you've never seen her work or whatever, then I would really recommend checking that out. It's definitely worth it. She's amazing.
Yeah, I also love Judy Chicago. She's great. And I think there's an Australian photographer called Holly Borland, who is not really a Dada artist at all, but I find it really interesting how her work. And she has a series called Morph, where a model kind of dresses in these fluorescent coloured costumes that kind of really restrict the body and kind of contort the body in really interesting ways. And so I find, that work really inspiring, because it kind of makes me think about the body differently and kind of what the body can be and what it can look like, what it can feel like as well, because kind of the costumes are stuffed with like padding. And I read an essay by the model who said it was a very kind of like strange, surreal experience being cocooned within these costumes that completely cover her face and her whole entire body. And so it was really, I find that really interesting.
I wouldn't say Cara Walker is a Dada artist, but I feel like the aspect of collage in her work and subverting certain images and having a subversive narrative is kind of in that spirit, or like connects with that. And she's one of my favourite artists, so that's my sort of bit for the contemporary artist side of things.
I'm going to say goodbye quickly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Susanna. That was fab.
And to look up, I'd go for Punk, Judy Nylon. The quote, there's a book called Punk is Dead, interview with Judy Nylon. That's the quote about being a footnote or a muse, but that the punks weren't. And also Punk, a very inclusive DIY movement. And then also Bobby Baker, who's a really interesting performance artist, and who I have a picture of, actually. I would have loved to have shown it to you, downstairs, that I made years ago. It's like a kind of collage, but with juxtaposed pictures of my grandma doing a striptease, which I also my poor grandma, juxtaposed with pictures of performances of Bobby Baker. So next time, if we have a salon, I'll bring you the pictures of my grandma doing a striptease, which are very funny.
We have to have another salon just for that.
Great to meet you, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Susanna,
sorry, I have to stop.
Before you go, will you send us your column about baking and because that feels
where shall I put it in? Shall I put it in the message?
In the chat would be perfect, yeah.
Okay, I'll just do that quickly now.
Thank you.
So there's 6 or 7 columns, so they can be read in any order at all. And it's an ongoing, but I'll mute myself.
Well, I want to say thank you to our guest speakers, and also to Elodie for helping put this together, and also to Lottie and Hannah for getting me and Elodie involved. It was brilliant, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I found it fantastic to do.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for coming, and Rochelle and Lottie for organising the whole thing. It's been absolutely great. And yeah, I can't wait to go through this Google Doc afterwards. I think it's going to be amazing. So thank you all very much.